YouTube. I just saw this video called "Is Buying Call of Duty a Moral Choice?" And the video is by PBS Idea Channel. Now, for those of you who don't know what Call of Duty is or have no interest in such things, this video is probably not for you. For those of you who are into gaming and possibly shooting as well, this video is right up your alley. I myself am a gamer. As you can see in the background, I have my Xbox hooked up over there. And yeah, I play games, and yeah, I shoot guns. I know the difference between real life and a game. I was taught that at a very young age, the difference between simulated violence on a screen and violence in real life. Now, what this guy on his video is saying that because there are real-life guns in games such as Call of Duty and Battlefield, that when you go to buy a game, you're actually supporting the arms trade and the dealing of guns in the world because you're buying a game that has a license to use a real-life gun. Okay, well, with that same logic, there's a song from 50 Cent in one of the Call of Duty games, so by that same logic, and am I supporting 50 Cent because I bought a game that has a 50 Cent song in it? Is he getting money every time someone buys a game? Or did he get paid by the developers in the beginning and that's already settled? Or is he still getting money? The same applies to the gun manufacturers. Are they still getting money every time a copy of Call of Duty is sold? So literally the money coming from my pocket when I buy a game is going to some gun manufacturer? Is that really how it works? Because I mean, you say this guy says he has a bachelor's degree. Well, I also have a bachelor's degree in game design. I went to college to make video games, so I know quite a bit about the process and the industry. Yes, you have to get licenses for things in games, but often game companies kind of ignore that and put guns and stuff with real names in a game, but they never paid the manufacturer any money or a license. So that's kind of irrelevant and pointless, but I just want to throw that out there, that not every video game that has real-life guns actually paid that gun manufacturer or gun company. Not all of them are doing that. So to act under the assumption that all of them do that is incorrect and false. I mean, we're not shown any sources saying, here's where they paid the money to get this gun in the game. Now, I did a little research on my own to find out exactly where this idea that manufacturers get paid comes from, and it's from a report from Eurogamer.net. But the thing is, they don't give you the actual report. They say it's a report and talk about guns and games and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, there's one example for one gun company, but that's it. There's nothing saying that all guns got licenses and they make money. There's nothing saying that. He talks about Barrett and how Barrett Company requests that their guns be licensed, but he never says that, you know, Activision or Infinity Ward actually went through that process and actually did that. Just because Barrett requested it, does that mean that it happened? I mean, there's so many assumptions going on. But what I really want to address is the whole idea that buying video games with guns, fuels the arms trade. That's, in my opinion, I mean, I respect people who think that way, but in my opinion, that's like saying if you buy a GTA game, you're helping drug dealers because there's drug dealers in the game. No, that's not how it works. And on top of that, you're saying that you dislike guns, but you like to play games with guns where you kill people. How backwards and twisted is that? You know, you like to shoot people in a game for fun, which a lot of people do. I do. I like to shoot people in games. I know that it's a game. I know it's not real life. There's a big difference. But that pleasure that you get from shooting at targets in a game is the same pleasure that someone who enjoys guns gets from shooting at targets. The only difference is I'm shooting at paper while you're shooting at Russians and Americans and Chinese and whoever else in a game. So you're perpetuating this culture of violence by violent gaming. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally think that violent games have a place in society and we have a right to buy and play them. But if you're going to say, I don't like guns, guns are bad, but I like to play video games where you shoot and kill people, that really? That's like saying, I can't even come up with an analogy for that because it's insane to me, but I digress on that. where does this sourcing of information come from that gun manufacturers are directly getting money in their pockets every time I buy a Battlefield game or a Call of Duty game? Where is that coming from? Who came up with this idea? I have never seen a game, or at the end of a Call of Duty game, at the credits, I never see the words, Colt Manufacturing. I don't see that stuff at the credits. Where is it? I mean, if we're paying for it and it's licensed and we're funding the arms trade, where is that? So this whole idea that we're funding an arms trade because we buy video games, it's ridiculous. And I'm getting redundant saying the same things over and over, but listen to this guy. He says that he doesn't like guns and he doesn't think people should have guns, so he doesn't want, he has a dilemma, a moral dilemma, by buying a game that has guns in it. Even though he likes shooting the guns in the game and killing people in the game, he doesn't like guns in real life. Well, let's take a step back. What are these games about? They're usually about the military fighting bad guys and conflicts, so they're good guys with guns. Okay, you like to be a good guy with a gun, but you're telling me you don't want other people out there in the real world to have guns who are good guys as well? Do you think that police and military shouldn't have guns in real life? They do. I mean, you can't make them disappear out of thin air. They're there. They exist. The criminals have them too. That's a whole other story. But this idea that you don't like something so it should be gone or it shouldn't be supported, I'm fine with that. But the idea that you're saying, I don't like this, so maybe we shouldn't buy this game because it could be supporting them, even though I like shooting and I like guns and games, it's ass backwards, dude. I'm sorry to tell you, but it doesn't make any sense. It's the same type of irrelevant illogic that comes from the people who want to ban guns and get rid of guns. You can't get rid of guns. The world is full of guns. That's like saying, I want to get rid of cars. I don't like cars. I don't think people should have cars. I'm not relating guns to cars. I'm relating your argument with something you don't like that shouldn't exist. Well, cars do exist. Cars are everywhere. Yeah, they kill people every day, but you can't make all the cars in the world disappear because there's cars everywhere. The same applies with guns. I'm not saying a gun is a car is a gun. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying these objects exist in the world and you cannot eliminate them by your personal preference or feeling. They're not going anywhere. So by you choosing to be against guns and refuse guns and not want to learn about them and think they're scary and dangerous, but you like to play games where you shoot people, that's ignorant, and you're contributing to the problem. You're contributing to the culture of violence. You're contributing to the ignorance that surrounds firearms in general. You're contributing to the ignorance and lack of training and learning about things like we should, instead of being afraid and saying, oh, I don't like that, I don't want it around me. You're contributing to the whole overall problem and root of troubles that are caused with firearms. Firearms problems aren't caused by people like me who like to play games or like to buy guns and like to shoot. Firearms problems are caused by people who are ignorant about guns, who refuse to learn about them, who refuse to train themselves, who are afraid, who are unwilling to take the chance to educate themselves and make themselves better and smarter and more trained. And the fact that you're refusing that education, to me, shows that you are an ignorant person, and it's very sad that you're propagating this idea that video games supports arms trade. Even if it did, it's not supporting illegal arms trade, it's supporting lawful arms trade. Guns that are sold to police and military, as mentioned before. You don't want our police armed? You don't want our military to have guns? Well, then why are you playing military games in the first place and supporting this culture? Well, it's crazy talk. It's like saying, I hate cars, but I love racing games. I hate fishing, but I love fishing games. Really, man, come on. Get a grip with reality. Come out here. Come to where I live, and I will take you shooting. I will put a gun in your hand and show you that it's not going to kill anybody. Look it. I have a gun right here. Look it. This gun is sitting in my hands, and it is not killing anybody. This gun has never killed anyone. It's not killing people now. It's not going to jump up out of my hands and start shooting things, because it takes a person to put it in their hand and shoot something with. This gun is not going to jump up and kill you. Okay? So why are you afraid of it? Well, why do you hate them? I'm not telling you have to buy a gun, you have to own a gun, but why is there this inherent disliking of an inanimate object? This object is inanimate, just as a car, just as a knife. Once again, I'm not saying a car is a gun, is a knife. No, I'm not saying that. But they're inanimate objects that do no evil unless they are picked up to do evil with. Just like someone who plays a violent video game, if they're not taught that there's a difference between reality and a video game violence, they're not going to know that, and that might be a problem in their life. But if they're taught from childhood, this is not right, you don't do this in real life, the same as you teach kids with guns, this is not right, you don't do this in real life, we would have less shootings, less violence, less crime, less gangs. But the fact that people want to continue to live in fear and have this anti-gun mentality, like this guy here, who's a PBS Idea Channel. Let me give you another idea, PBS Idea Channel guy. Why don't you try to live your life, and if you don't like something that exists in the world, you don't need to tell people that they should support your idea, because what you're saying is essentially, there's all these things in the world that exist, but I don't like them, so you shouldn't like them too, and somehow that's going to make things better. No, that's not going to make anything better. You're not open to a debate, you're not open to a discussion, you're saying, no, I don't like them, that's it. But yet I like to play video games where I shoot people. So I'm just going around in circles here, but I think you guys hopefully get my point, and, you know, tell me what you think about this guy in his video. Tell me what you think about buying video games. Does buying video games that have guns in them somehow support gang bangers and drug dealers and all that? And where's the sources? Where is the documentation of the money that is actually gained per purchase of game from our pockets, not the developer? Where is the money from our pockets going to a gun manufacturer from buying a game? What's the percentage? What's the rate? How often does it happen? Where's this documentation? I'd like to see it. Please, show me. If anyone has any more insight on what this guy's talking about, I'd really like to know as a gamer and as a firearms enthusiast. So that's all I had to say, and I hope some of my thoughts maybe open your mind about things, and if not, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry we don't see eye to eye. That doesn't mean I don't respect you. It just means that I don't think you have a very valid opinion of the world, because there's the way things you think there could be, and then there's the way things really are. I think that we should live on rainbows and eat ice cream all day, but that's not real life. So I can sit there and think that all I want, but it's not going to happen. Just like I can sit there and think about, I don't like guns, or I don't like this, but they're still going to be there. They're still going to exist, and what does video games have to do with that? It's like trying to grasp at something, in my opinion. So, anyways, have a nice day, guys, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching.